be minus, yeah, then probably the credit default swap premium will go up. The premium, technically, premium is nothing but risk premium. Yeah, bond risk premium. So if you, I'm sorry, risk premium, but you guys have become silent actually. That's what puzzles me. It is not the only way of making it. Just because Damodaran has done it, Ashwath, I regard him, very high regard for him. In his youngest age, he has written 7 books. You read twice, actually you will get to know more. Read 4 times, you get to know more. But doesn't mean that you have to fall in line with how he calculated the risk premium. We can do the beta route also. Simple, risk-free, isn't it? The minute I asked you about a global way of doing it, you guys have been bogged down by how it is done. I can do in my own way. I am who prevented you from doing it from risk-free plus beta into RM minus RF? Isn't it? If you are nodding your head and comfortable, now you tell me the numbers. As simple as that, isn't it? You tell me the number and give me the reasons for that. Then we'll break for lunch. There is an incentive for lunch also. Earlier you tell me the number, quicker we go for lunch. You are happy with this, right? If you are happy with this, comfortable with this, get me the number. My demand is not unreasonable, I think, right? Some number, Rishi. What is this? Stomach is ruling your head, I think.
Beta into market return minus
risk-free. Simple. So you get, suppose your horizon is 5-year, you get 5-year bond rate as your risk-free. That will be what? S-Bank. What is the 5-year rate? 7.8 or 7.9, today's rate I am talking about, right? Take that, okay? And the beta of, as what? You are working for KPMG, PWD, so you are getting the valuation of doing Canara Bank. Beta is available to you in the market, right? Whatever the beta, 1.1 or 1.2, source, all you have to do is that in a report you have to say, source Bloomberg. That's it. You have defended your number. You don't have to explain beyond, right? If somebody contests your number of 1.1, you sue the Bloomberg. As simple as that, right? Michael Bloomberg has to pay for that. Okay. Then risk-free and RM minus RM, we know that 10 years, what is the return from the market? Take that, BSE 30 or whatever is that, yeah? Take the historical numbers. What is December 2003, 2004, 2005? Take the BSE benchmark number, this minus this. What is return, right? 2004 minus 2003 divided by 2003. Calculate that, average that, get the risk premium. Yeah, keep thinking and have your lunch. If you have a question, you can ask me actually, of course, yeah. Sorry? Who asked the question? Huh? If it is an unlisted company, okay. You are on my side actually. I always get this kind of valuation.
most of the unlisted
Valuation, that is true. Little, give me 2 minutes. Before there is any specific question on this, we will get to that unlisted one. Yeah. Any specific question on dividend discount model? We are closing this actually. With this, we are closing more or less on the equity, I think. Let me see, is there any slide on this? Then we are moving into the bond. And yeah, very little on that. Yeah. Unlisted company, what's your name? I'll come to you. So it looks like from the looking at the face of you, it looks like you have questions, but you guys are refusing to ask me. Yeah, what's it? Prasad. Okay. Prasad wanted to know how to do the unlisted company. But Prasad, there are many guys who wanted to know how we got the listed company's valuation. Is there any doubts on how we have done this? Or are you guys are comfortable doing that? If you go through it, I think all the slides, see if what I have done is that in one class actually, I think in Dhanukar College or something like that, when we did that valuation year before, guys have started doing along with me, but they got bogged down by the numbers. So that is why I didn't insist on you doing that. But you have 5-6 slides. I have increased the slides now. How every section is done is there. Yeah, go through this. In fact, it has been a graphical also. So every number has been defined and it matches with what he has computed. So finally what we do is that the terminal value, okay, the dividend, current dividend, is it current dividend? Dividend at the 10th year. Dividend at the 10th year becomes current dividend for the terminal value. Okay. So, and after that it grows at 4%. So 130 into 1.04 and the payout ratio also is 65%. Though this is the earning per share, then you bring that into dividend per share and the dividend per share you multiply by the growth, then you get the D1. K minus G, K is already calculated, G is already there. So 1178 is the terminal value and you bring it to the present value. Okay, this number 3 is also given in my formula, okay, the first slide, 345. So there are 3 components: present value of high growth, present value of dividends of high growth, dividends of transition, terminal price. So the stock price has to be 472. Yeah, you will buy the stock or sell the stock. That is another decision, right? What a question, isn't it? Simple actually, isn't it? So stock price is given, you will buy the stock or sell the stock. Depending on market value. This is the intrinsic value of the stock. If the intrinsic value is greater than the market value, you buy the stock. If the intrinsic value is less than market, so if the market is overpriced the stock, you sell the stock. Okay? Yeah. We'll come back to Prasad, we'll come back to you. Yeah. Post lunch actually we'll talk about how to value unlisted company. So based on your, what happens, you have a capital adequacy requirement, right? So the minute you hit the capital adequacy, then what happens, you're constrained by your assets and it is illiquid. So what you do is that you start a special purpose vehicle, bundle all these MBS into a special SPV and sell it to special SPV. They will take care, sell it to the market. Don't think it happens only in US. In India also it happens. It is all sold to the mutual fund. It doesn't come to the investor because investors cannot understand. So all these SPVs used to sell it to the mutual fund. When I was in mutual fund, we used to buy all these things. So once it goes out of S-Bank's books actually, then again you have the limits. Again you can increase the balance sheet size. Still the differential interest, if not coming to you fully, that 50 basis point, whatever you charge, comes to in your books, right? Yeah, risk free basically. The risk you have transferred, asset also you have transferred, you get 50 basis point on that. What happened to this? Is it too fast or no? I've been all these days I've been thinking that there is not even a few slides on what do you call credit default swap or something like that, which I should have done that. But when it comes to complex securities, the challenge is to take it from the base to the high level, bond, equity, derivative, and then the valuation. And Institute doesn't give you 2 days, yeah. Yeah. How many guys are comfortable when I say derivatives, as I asked you in the morning? No, comfortable in the sense I'm not going to ask you, are you expert in derivatives, you want to play strategies like me? No, that is not the intention. Comfortable in the sense, when I tell you, I want to sell a put, I want to sell a call, are you confused or I'm comfortable, kind of? Huh? Comfortable. So that is why I have not gone into fundas. I generally look into the profile